My name is Carol Cheney, and I am an attorney with Kirkland & Ellis, a major international law firm. I have experience in all three sectors, the public, the private, and the nonprofit. I used to work for the state senate many years ago. I've also had experience with the National Safety Council, whose mission is to protect the public on the roads, at home, and in the workplace. I was editor-in-chief of the Northwestern University Law Review and had the honor of serving as a clerk for a federal judge on the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. I've always had a desire to get into public service, and I decided to get involved in this race and dedicate my full-time efforts. If elected, actually, I would be leaving the law firm to serve the residents of DuPage County full-time.
Hi, I'm Dan Cronin. I'm a state senator currently. I've served in Springfield both in the Senate and the House since 1991. I live here in DuPage County. I've lived here my whole life. I grew up here with my 8 brothers and sisters in Elmhurst. My father's a retired orthopedic surgeon. I am raising my 4 children about 2 blocks away from where I grew up. I'm a citizen legislator. I have a small business. I practice law. And I think it's really valuable to have that kind of hands-on in the workplace experience. I think it makes you a better public servant. I have been serving in Springfield, and I've fought some battles, and I won some battles, and I've lost a few battles over the years. I'm proud of my record of accomplishment, but I want to come home to DuPage County. I feel a sense of duty, a sense of responsibility to run for chairman of the county board, and I'd like to lead the board and lead the government, county government, and be an example of enlightened governance and show people how to do it the right way.
I think when you're looking at combining governments, you have to look at and see if there really is a value to be obtained by doing so. And I'll give you an example. The Water Commission, just moving the independent Water Commission and dissolving it and making it a department of the county, I don't know that you're really achieving anything by doing so. I think if you're going to go into combining, you need to make sure that you have a real reason for doing so.
Of course, we've gone through that exercise, and we've come to the conclusion that you could save millions of dollars. We've gone through that exercise. We know that the public works employees could do a lot of the same things that the 23 employees over at the Water Commission are doing. We've gone through that discussion. We know that some of the professional services, the lawyers and the lobbyists, and a lot of that could be consolidated. We have concluded that there would be significant savings, and we could still manage the Water Commission to serve the region.
But I'd also like to talk about the original legislation that was proposed by Senator Cronin, because its original form, all that legislation did was move the Water Commission as a county department, and it gave the county board chairman sole authority to appoint the chairman of the water department without even the advice and consent of the county board members. If we're talking about a cooperative government in which the county board members also have a say, and the chairman is having an open, cooperative discussion with county board members, I question why the original legislation had that provision in it. And in fact, I went down to Springfield, and I know a number of municipalities did as well, to push to have the Jenner and Block audit results incorporated in that legislation, because those results were so integral. They provided the systemic relief that we need. And then I also find troubling that when you reach a compromise, as the senator did with the municipalities, to keep these bodies independent, to go back after that compromise, once the ink is dry, and say, I'm still going to push to have it consolidated as a department of the county. I think when you reach a compromise with someone, you should hold true to what you have agreed upon. I think good faith is something that is extremely important as a county board chair. I think people need to be able to trust you. They need to be able to trust the agreements that you reach. And when you're reaching out to people, they need to know that you're good to your word.
Well, obviously that doesn't make me happy, because I'm a little bit offended by it. First of all, I think I enjoy a good reputation as a well-respected legislator in Springfield who has worked with Republicans, Democrats, upstate, downstate, all sorts of different interest groups for years and years. The process of making a law is just that. It's a process. With all due respect, Carol, you weren't in the room. You don't know what happened. You don't know what people said. You don't know how the legislation developed. We arrived at a compromise, no doubt about it. But there was never an agreement not to pursue consolidation. In fact, I have a press release that I issued at the time, back in I think April, where I said, look, we'll take this step right now. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how they respond. But I reserve the right to go after and pursue as a public servant whose view is shared by many in the legislature, mostly Democrats, who think that this has virtue, consolidating. So I was on the record at that time.
I have years of experience at a major law firm. I've lured businesses in that law firm, so I think if we're looking at a competitive business environment, that is something I bring to the table as well. As far as this being a very strong Republican county, I do think the demographics have been changing and continue to change. But regardless, for a county board's chairmanship position, I agree with those people who say local government's a little bit different. I don't think you get into some of those divisive issues that you get into on the state and national level. And I'm hoping that people realize that really I am just a fiscal conservative. And my task as county board chair would be to steer the county's budget, would be to cooperate with municipalities. I have reached out during the course of campaigns to municipal leaders regardless of what their political affiliation is, because I think it's incumbent on the county board chair to work with all people and represent all constituents regardless of whether you're the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or an independent. And so that's the message that I've been bringing to the table. I'm running as a Democrat, but I'm running for all constituents in DuPage County, and I'm fiscally conservative. And I think that's what people in DuPage County care about.
Look, I've been in this business for a while. When I first ran for office, a good number of Democrats voted for me. I sort of ran against the party establishment. Now I'm in this position as the party leader, which to some of my family members, they sort of are amused by that. Look, the world has changed. DuPage County's changed with it. I'm proud to be a Republican. I think I've got good fiscal conservative credentials. I've demonstrated. I've actually been in the arena. I've actually shown what I can do where I'm at. But I agree with Carol that, look, my success will be measured based on my message as a candidate, how I articulate the views, my record of accomplishment, and I think there is less and less concern about a party label than there is about just your position on the issue. I'm a proud Republican, and I know there are those that are going to come out and vote Republican, and God bless you, because I think they know me as somebody who's trustworthy, somebody who keeps his word, and somebody who actually gets things done.